EGM Network.
This is Martha Matters. From real estate, healthcare, current events, taxes, or just about any topic, we're talking about it. Call us with any questions on just about any subject. Now, here she is, Martha!
Well, hi, and welcome. Well, today certainly is among the famous days in history. Actually, yesterday, if you want to be exact. But this is a whole week of history in the making that each and every one of us, I don't care whether you're independent, Republican, Democratic, you ought to be very, very, very proud. It's something that no one else has been able to accomplish. And it hasn't been overnight or 2 or 3 phone calls or anything of the like. It's been a lot of hard work. It started with us removing the nuclear threat from Iran. Mm-hmm. And that is the first time the whole world turned around and respected us militarily and for doing the right thing without killing hardly any, if any, people in getting rid of the nuclear threat that Iran had to put on the plate worldwide.
Yeah, they held that over our head for years and years and years and years. It was always a stumbling block. It was like what do you call it? I can't think of the term, when you never got rid of it.
It was always a threat.
Yeah, it was always a threat. But I mean, it was just back there digging at everybody.
And I find it very interesting the way Blinken and some of the Democrats say, oh, well, we prepared Trump for this one day. The big preparation that they did is they taught Trump what not to do.
Right.
That's what it is. From Obama on in the past, all they did is throw money at Iran. It never went to the people.
Right.
AOC was made a joke of when she said, well, this is to go to food for the country. Not one penny of it went there, and we all know that. They were made the fool of, and everything that Trump did to achieve this peace had nothing to do with what the Democrats did. In fact, when Netanyahu came over a year ago, when the Democrats were in office, they did not put out the red carpet. Kamala Harris was out of town, could not meet with Netanyahu. And the person who met with Netanyahu was Trump when he wasn't even elected yet as candidate for November 5th. But he saved Netanyahu's visit by inviting him to Mar-a-Lago and mention the things that he wanted to do. Also, Trump, after that, met with almost all, I'm not sure he did every one, but all the major Arab countries.
Yeah, he did that when he was elected.
And he did that right after he was elected.
Yeah, he did.
And he met with them and did not go to Israel at all. He went to them to find out what they could do to help in the Gaza situation, what they'd like to see, and they all agreed on getting rid of Iran's nuclear capabilities. And he won their trust and said, you work with me, I'll work with you, and it's all set. And then when Israel, by mistake, was trying to wipe out with a drone a Hamas person that Qatar was harboring, and they accidentally killed one of the other Arabs, Trump seized on that, saying, we're not condoning mistakes. Mistakes happen, but this is serious, and we don't need you playing both sides against the middle, harboring Hamas, and also supporting the United States. Things have got to straighten out for the benefit of Gaza and the Mideast and the world. And he's the only one who handled it beautifully without throwing U.S. money around. And yes, the Democratic Party helped by making it very clear what not to do. When they pulled, while Biden was still in office, not meeting with Netanyahu, not meeting with the other Arabs, but only supporting Hamas, that was the downfall of the Democratic Party. And to this day, we do not support Islamic thugs of any kind. We support the peace-loving, very much peace-loving Arab states who hate the thugs or the Arab terrorists as much as we do. And that has been made very, very clear with what Trump has done. And it has nothing to do with the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party was throwing money at Hamas. In fact, I'll tell you right now as we speak today, that was announced this morning, Mamdani, the candidate for New York City mayor, is having a fundraiser to give to the Hamas organization, a fundraiser in New York City for the sake of Hamas. So he doesn't want peace either. And it's about time that New Yorkers wake up and see what's happening to New York City. I think that is actually shameful. There isn't one penny that we've given to Hamas that has not been used to turn around and kill peace-loving Arabs, not to mention Europe, the United States, and other areas that want peace. It's funny that all the demonstrators over at the major universities wanted a ceasefire. They got a ceasefire, not from the people they voted for, but from Trump. And all of a sudden, they're still demonstrating, and they almost don't know what for. Instead of saying, this is wonderful, let's promote peace, they don't want to promote peace. They have to dig up another new reason to do demonstrations.
You know, go ahead. I found it funny when I was switching channels, I'm not going to mention any in particular, that there were a lot of them that were just trying to rip this whole thing apart, saying, this isn't the right thing, this isn't blah, 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 blah. And just focus on all the hostages now are back, the ones that are still alive, and sadly, ones that aren't alive. I mean, hopefully that could have been avoided, but we don't know that. Now it ended the way it ended. But I mean, why rip it apart and say this is blah, 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 blah? It was all like an agenda for one side or the other. I felt like I was on a volleyball match or something on the beach.
Yes.
It was just crazy.
And there's nothing to rip apart. Yes, peace has not been fully achieved yet.
Right.
But it's the closest that we've ever had for peace in decades, 500 years or 2,000 years. Why? Because the Arabs and the Jews are suddenly working together to make Gaza a Palestinian state that is peaceful, not trying to eliminate the U.S. or more importantly, even trying to eliminate Israel. All these countries are here to stay, and they want peace. And that is so beautiful, and they're working on it now. All these Arab states that Trump has gotten together have become quite wealthy especially those with their memberships in the Abraham Accord, or Abraham, as Trump says. The Abraham Accord of financial trading with Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Turkey, with Israel has been very fruitful and successful with all of these, and we can't wait until the rest of them join in, and they want to. Economic success is a major part of peace, not demonstrations, not wars, but actual peace through strength, and strength is making every nation financially independent, affordable, and prosperous. That is what this world is all about, and that's exactly what Trump has accomplished. No one else in the Republican Party or the Democratic Party has ever taken a business approach. Why? Trump was formerly a businessman and a successful one for years. We've had nothing but politicians as presidents who don't know how to manage money and at a global in a global capacity. It is so important. The difference from as far as I'm concerned, I don't care why the media and everyone else, including the Democratic Party that wants peace, Pelosi, Schumer, and the others, are not saying a word. They're embarrassed, and let me tell you, my hat is off, and I never thought it would be, for Hillary Clinton. She was the first Democratic member to come out and say, what Trump has just done is fabulous, and we've got to support and go along with what he is doing.
You know, that's a good point that you bring up there, Martha, because I remember back when it was Trump was out and then Biden got elected, and one of the big news feeds was always, now everybody get behind this, everybody get behind this. So what happened with that? Right. Is what I say to myself. So what happened with that? Why now aren't we celebrating that this is a great peaceful day in the world? Yeah, it's not perfect. It isn't perfect. And there's a lot more stuff to be done, instead of in 3 seconds ripping everything apart saying, well, this could have done. It's just way too much ego for me.
It's way too much ego. Way too much ego on the Democratic side. And it's making a fool of Schumer, who is the highest ranking Jewish person on the platform, and he's not saying a word, and he ought to be jumping for joy and say, I'm glad this is happening. Let's see that it continues. And it should be a bipartisan joy.
Right. It should be everybody's joy. I mean, everybody did play a part in it, whether one thing or another. We all did. Nobody wanted all this war going on.
Right.
Maybe some solutions worked out better this time. I mean, maybe the next time this happens, that solution's not going to work. But at the end of the day, I just don't get ripping it apart. I just do not get ripping it apart.
What made Trump successful is that he earned the trust of both sides and recognizes the importance of both sides. The Democratic Party, for the last decade or more, is trying to make one party is good, the other party's evil. One party's Hitler, one party is fabulous. And that's not how things work. Historically, way back on the Tea Party era of John McCain and that whole era, that was one big mistake. It was all or nothing of what a few people wanted, and that was not what the majority of Republicans wanted or the Democrats. Well, right now, it's the opposite. The Democrats are a small group who want actually the destruction of the United States and want the terrorist organization of the Arabs to succeed. And the majority of Democrats don't want it, but they're letting it happen. They're turning into pussy willows, and their silence is actually saying that they agree with communism. They agree with Mandavi. And I know in my heart they do not agree. The one or two people, with Fetterman being the loudest, is the only one that is seeing through all of this and speaking up. It is very, very pathetic.
You brought up another point, too, Martha, about this going back to President Trump being his foundation as a businessman, which we know. And it brings to mind, and I've done shows on this for several years, about Harry Truman, who was also got the knocks all the time. Like, why is this guy even in the office? He's always, he was just, in the background. FDR didn't even let him in on the meetings or whatever. And then when FDR died, then all of a sudden Truman was brought immediately to the forefront, of course, as now being the president. And so many people do point to the things that President Truman did. Well, he had a business background.
Yes.
As far as I know, he did.
He owned a boutique store, and then it enlarged into quite a spacious store over in Independence, Missouri. And he was business. He didn't start off as a politician getting votes and not knowing what the working world out there was like. He was part of it on a smaller scale than Trump, but nevertheless, he learned the same features.
Right. So, I just bring that up. And I want to say the other president that's eluding my mind now, always gets blamed for the 29 crash, but I want to say he was a businessman as well, too, and really he got the stuff dumped in his lap, and he was the scapegoat. But really, if you look at history, some of the stuff that he did wasn't anything that contributed to that crash. I'll think of his name during the break, maybe.
Okay, but yes, and then the other people who were president, if they weren't political, they were people who succeeded militarily.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So, like Eisenhower and many others.
Yeah.
So, it's really a big positive difference having a business person in office.
At this time of the juncture, at this time of the juncture is all I'm going to say.
Yes.
It maybe not always works.
Right. So let's take a break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Blue Dolphin Pools strives to provide quality service with a well-trained staff in the field and in the office. They want you to know that your pool or spa investment means much more to them than just another account. They believe you have entrusted them with your investment, and they'll do their best to see that it stays in top condition. Blue Dolphin Pool has been in business over 35 years, setting them apart from the competition. Residential or commercial, Blue Dolphin will keep you in the swim. 567-5853.
Welcome to Riverside Theater's Comedy Zone, where the comedy is wild, untamed, and downright hilarious. Hit the zone this Friday and Saturday night at 6:30 and 8:30 for the Treasure Coast's best live stand-up comedy show. featuring nationally recognized comedians with cabaret-style seating and food and drink table service. Buy tickets at riversidetheater.com and get ready for a night of non-stop laughs.
At Sunshine Furniture, our 35,000 square foot showroom is filled with the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture on the Treasure Coast. Dining and bedroom sets, occasional tables, sofas, sleeper sofas, love seats, and chairs in the latest styles and colors from Tommy Bahama, Lexington, Hooker, Four Seasons, Braxton, Color, and Capri. We're the outdoor furniture experts and have hundreds of styles of any patio furniture you need, including a gallery of American-made Telescope, Berlin Gardens, Lloyd Flanders, and Pollywood, all with no tariff ever. And we also specialize in fire pits, outdoor rugs, umbrellas, and replacement cushions. Right now, we're having a huge floor sample sale with lots of great markdowns on everything you need for your Florida home, including all pictures, lamps, and accessories half price. Sunshine Furniture, $1295 US 1 in the Publix Plaza, Vero Beach. Don't forget to visit our outlet store directly across the street, filled with lots of name brand closeouts and sale items. And visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com.
Okay, welcome back. We're nice to see you. I can't emphasize enough that Trump, after he was elected, went to all the wealthiest Arab countries and talked to them on what can be done. We'll keep Gaza as a Palestinian state, but it's got to be peaceful and not regulated by terrorists of any kind. And they were all in agreement, and they all came up with quite a bit of money, a small amount of their budget, but nevertheless a lot of money that's all being dumped in, not to give to the politicians, but converted directly toward rebuilding the Gaza Strip. And when Trump was successful in talking to all of them, even Qatar, after one of their people was accidentally killed by a Jewish or Israel soldier, nevertheless, he used that mistake to say, look, we've got to end all this, and I need your help. And he got the trust of all these Arab nations, and when he was done talking to them, he didn't immediately go over and stop at Israel and tattletaled. He went home, worked on a lot of projects related, and talked to Israel. And the secret of Trump's business ability is he won the trust of both sides. One side was not right, one side was not wrong. He won the trust of both sides. And he certainly learned from the Democrats when in office, from Biden on down, wouldn't speak to Netanyahu. That's not the way to start developing peace of any kind. And dumping money at one side or the other is not the answer. The Democrats have done that for decades, and it doesn't work as a permanent solution. So please, let's all of us have our hats off to this major event, which worldwide people are dancing, including those that are not Arabs, that are not Jews. It's a global success story, and let's be honest about it and encourage it, no matter what party we're affiliated with. This is not a Republican success. It is a global success. Let's all join in. So have a great week, and we'll see you next time. And congratulations to all of us.